Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise and give you a pro's cheat sheet, the real-world advice that'll take your photography from just okay to absolutely brilliant.
All right, let's jump right in with a scenario I know you've been in. You just took a photo, you look at the little screen on the back, and it's blurry. What's the first thing you do? Your thumb just hovers over that little trash can icon, doesn't it? Well, hold on a second. A pro would tell you to stop right there, and there's a really good reason why.
So let's talk about the digital shooting dilemma, and specifically, why you shouldn't delete photos in camera. You know that habit of constantly checking the back of your camera? It's actually got a name. It's called chimping. And it feels like you're being efficient, right? Cleaning up as you go. But trust me, it can actually do more harm than good.
Okay, so why should you wait? Well, there are a few huge reasons. For one, it absolutely kills your battery life. Constantly waking up that screen to review and delete photos is a major power drain. And a dead battery means, well, game over for the shoot. Plus, that tiny screen on your camera, it can be super deceiving. A photo that looks a little soft might actually be totally fine, or even have a certain charm when you see it on a big monitor. And this is a big one, it is so easy to accidentally delete the wrong photo in a hurry. You think you're deleting the blurry one, but you hit the one before it, and poof, it's gone forever. There's no undo button on your camera. So what's the pro move here? It's all about building a solid workflow, a simple habit. Here it is. After every single shoot, the first thing you do is download all your photos to your computer. Then you back them up immediately. And only after they're safe and sound in two places do you format the memory card in camera. That way, you start every shoot with a fresh, empty card, and you're never scrambling for space. You know, this whole approach really gets back to a different way of thinking, what we call the film mindset. See, the amazing freedom of digital photography can sometimes be a trap. Back in the film days, you had maybe 36 shots on a roll. Every single one felt precious. It forced you to be deliberate, to really think about your composition and your lighting. But with digital, where you can take hundreds of photos, it's so easy to fall into that spray and pray mode, right? Just firing away without much thought. The best photographers, they bring that thoughtful, deliberate film mindset into the digital world.
All right, so you've shot smart, you've kept all your photos, now what? The next step is absolutely crucial, safeguarding your shots with a solid storage strategy.
We've all heard that saying, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, it couldn't be more true for photography. It's so tempting to buy that one giant, super high-capacity memory card. It feels simple, but it's a massive risk. Think about it. If that one card corrupts or you lose it, you've lost the entire shoot. It's so much smarter to use a few smaller cards. If one fails, you've only lost a fraction of your work.
And that brings us to the magic number 2. You need a minimum of 2 copies of your photos, always. I cannot stress this enough. Those portable hard drives, the ones with the little spinning discs inside, they are shockingly fragile. I've had them fail just from a small bump in a backpack. You have to treat them like they will fail, because eventually they will. That means every photo you care about needs to live on at least 2 separate physical drives.
Now, the good news is that technology is giving us a much better solution. I'm talking about solid-state drives, or SSDs. Since they have no moving parts, they are way more durable than those old spinning drives. They're also smaller and faster. For photographers on the move, especially travelers, investing in an SSD is, honestly, a no-brainer. It's just a fantastic investment for your peace of mind.
Okay, next up, let's tackle something that sounds really scary to a lot of people but is actually super simple: keeping your sensor clean. This is probably the most overlooked piece of camera maintenance, but it's so important.
So, how do you even know if you have dust on your sensor, or is it just in your viewfinder? Here's the dead simple way to tell. If you see little black specks when you're looking through the eyepiece, but they don't show up in your final photos, that's just dust in the viewfinder. A little annoying but harmless. But if you start seeing dark spots that appear in the exact same place in every single picture you take, yep, that's dust on your sensor, and it's time for a cleaning. And you don't have to rush off to a camera shop. You can totally do this yourself, and it's perfectly safe. All you have to do is go into your camera's menu and find the manual cleaning mode. That locks the mirror up and exposes the sensor. Now here's the trick. Hold the camera so the opening is facing down, like gravity help you. Then just use a simple little rubber air puffer, and please never use a can of compressed air. Just give a few gentle puffs of air onto the sensor. Most of the time, that's all it takes. To check your work, just take a picture of a clear blue sky or a white wall at a high F number, like F16 or F22. The spots should be gone.
All right, let's wade into one of the biggest debates in photography: post-production.
the power of editing. For some reason, there's this idea floating around that editing your photos is cheating. Let's talk about why that's just not true.
When you look at a professional program like Adobe Lightroom, it really does two main things, and they're both equally important. About half of its power is in organization. I mean, think about it. You've got thousands of photos. Lightroom helps you manage all that with keywords, folders, and rating systems so you can actually find the shot you're looking for. The other half, of course, is the tweaking, the adjustments to brightness, contrast, color, all the stuff that makes your photo really sing.
So, is editing cheating? The simple answer is absolutely not. Photographers have always edited their images. Long before Photoshop, back in the chemical darkrooms, they were using techniques called dodging and burning to selectively make parts of the photo lighter or darker. The tools are digital now, but the goal is the same, to create the best possible final image.
But there is a line, and it's a pretty important one. It's the difference between enhancing a photograph and creating a totally new digital image. And this is where most photojournalism standards and competitions draw that line in the sand. Things like adjusting the overall brightness, contrast, or saturation, cropping the image, straightening a crooked horizon, that's all generally seen as standard practice. But when you start removing people from the background, changing someone's eye color, or merging multiple photos into one scene that never existed, well, now you're not really enhancing a photo anymore. You're creating digital art, which is a different thing entirely.
And this, right here, is the biggest reason why pros shoot in what's called RAW format. See, when you shoot a normal JPEG file, your camera is making a whole bunch of decisions for you. It's got this little onboard computer that uses an averaging algorithm to decide on the color, the contrast, the sharpness. It basically hands you a finished photo that it thinks looks good. But when you shoot in RAW, you're capturing all the original, unprocessed data from the sensor. That means you get to make all those final creative decisions. You're not cheating, you're taking control to make the photo look the way you remember it, the way you envision.
Okay, so you're taking better pictures, you're keeping them safe, you're making them look amazing. What's the next step? Well, let's talk about how you go from being a hobbyist to getting your work seen.
Getting your photos published can feel like a huge, impossible goal, but it's really about having the right strategy. If you're aiming for your local newspaper, the best bet is a direct approach. Find the photo editor's email and send them a timely, topical photo related to your community. But if you're aiming for a big, national magazine, don't just fire off an email to the editor. It'll get lost. The secret backdoor is the reader's photos section. Seriously, there's a person whose entire job is to look through those submissions. If they like your stuff, you've just made a contact inside the industry. It's a great way to get your foot in the door.
And here's another huge tip. Enter competitions. And I don't just say that because you might win. The real value is that they force you to practice. They give you deadlines. They give you themes that push you way out of your comfort zone and make you a better photographer. And yeah, of course, you can win gear and cash. And when you win, you often get published, which builds your profile. Suddenly, you can call yourself an award-winning photographer. It's one of the fastest ways to build momentum. Because at the end of the day, all of this stuff, the workflow, the backups, the editing techniques, getting published, they're all just tools. They're the practical side of the craft, but they exist to serve your vision. The most important part of photography has always been and will always be having something to say. So you've got the pros cheat sheet now. The real question is, what story will you tell?